We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hello. You may be asking yourself, what is my name? The name is not important, but right now, you can call me Ethernet Cable. I am going by the pseudonym Ethernet Cable because I believe I have just disconnected from the cult of Mr. Saiko Woods. Now, you may ask yourself, how did I get involved into this cult? Yes, I am calling what I came out a cult. Well, let's just say I was attracted to some of Saiko's banter and style. For me, I was just kind of enjoying the bombastic, the song, Mr. Boombastic, very fantastic. Yes, I kind of felt that way about Saiko Woods. It was very entertaining, and I'm not gonna lie, as I reflect now, it really fed my flesh. Like many of you, I look forward to Monday through Saturday, Central Standard Time of 7 p.m. in Cypress, Texas, of a Slander Fest session where Saiko Woods would dig up dirt on people, and he would claim he was doing biblical things by exposing people, right? Private conversations, things like that will be exposed, all in the name of love.
What's love got to do with it?
Again, I enjoy that, and I thought everybody handled the Bible that way, where they would, dig people's personal dirt up and import themselves in the text. And, Saiko Woods would use very biblical language and high, lofty language like exegesis, but oddly enough, as I look back, I don't even really see that he ever really did it, not in any way that served himself. And so,
you're not David!
As a former member of the Branch Woodian, I am speaking out. I oddly enough came out of a cult, a very black nationalist cult, and funny enough, that's what attracted me to Saiko. At first, he would be very anti-woke stuff, but then in the next episode, he'd be very black nationalist and claiming that it's white people gatekeeping him. That's why he can't get into many of these conferences and invites like G3 and Shepherd's Conference, and just very strange. It left me at a state of confusion because I never really knew what side Saiko was going to pick. It really just depended on the flavor of the month and the day, Again, Saiko Woods, I mean, a lot could be said to him. Even now, the reason why I'm disguising my voice and going by a pseudonym, and remember, the pseudonym is Ethernet Cable. I've disconnected. I am no longer plugged in to the internet church. The reason why I'm using these pseudonyms is because I still am in fear of Pastor Saiko Woods. I'm even still struggling with the language because I understand he's not a pastor, but I was just so used to calling him pastor. He would constantly go on attacks about John MacArthur and Corey Minor and the mob. And one day, someone told me, how did I get out? Okay, let's get into this. How did I get out of the cult? Well, someday someone told me, hey, have you actually looked at some of the things Saiko said? And I was like, of course not. I believe they're true. I mean, Saiko Woods, he has receipts. Well, they were saying, well, what's his receipts on the mob? And them making constant videos, because Saiko Woods always says that the mob is making videos, and they said, hey, go to their channels and verify if that's true. And in pure classic cult fashion, I didn't do it for months, right? I did not want to challenge the authority of the leader, and so but one day I just became curious because Saiko would constantly mention it, and actually that's what peeled my curiosity. Saiko constantly mentioned it, funny enough. He would constantly say this, and so one day I had the courage to go to these channels, Slicky Ricky, I apologize. I'm so used to going by what the cult member calls these people. Rick Caldwell, Dearwell Christian, K-Dub, April Chapman, Montana Viking, Virgil Walker, Justin Peter, all these people. I went to their channels and nobody was making a video about them. Matter of fact, I started to even watch some of these videos, and I was highly encouraged because for the first time I was actually seeing biblical exegesis being done. Them explaining the text, not importing their personal drama into these stories and these parables and these didactic teachings. See, I learned a lot just from listening to these guys, oddly enough. And I just saw a difference in how Saiko handled the Bible versus how they handle the Bible. These guys were fun to listen to, but they were at the same time, the primary thing was happening is they were explaining the text. Again, I don't know about their personal dramas. I'm sure, like me, like everyone in life, they have their personal dramas, but it did not come into the YouTube into what the Bible was saying. You know, YouTube didn't exist to get all their personal vendettas out like Mr. Saiko Woods. You know, it's one of the odd things about his channel. And so I just thought to myself, if he's willing to lie about something so clear and plain as this, what else could the man be lying about? And that's where it all started to unravel for me. You know, if you listen to many cult members and stories, it's usually one thing that unravels for them, and it just leads to a whole plethora of things. You know, even how Saiko, you know, anyone challenges him, you look at how it's not very Christ-like. You know, I compare this with the quote-unquote mob. You know, they would get challenges as well. Anybody who does YouTube content, you get challenges. But I saw the difference in how they handled dissenters and pushback. And I was amazed because the first time I saw this, I was like, surely this YouTuber, one of the mob members, is going to tell this person to cam up or shut up, right? I just was kind of used to that. But no, the person cordially walked with them, and explained why they thought they were wrong. And that was it. And they told the person, hey, well, I understand you disagree and we can have more conversation, but feel free to keep watching. I was so perplexed. In my mind, that was what a weak man does, right? Because that's what Saiko Woods says. Eggshell walking dudes do that, right? And so that's kind of what I was used to. And so I was perplexed, but it was honestly the Christian thing to do, which was odd because that was what was shocking to me. That's how ingrained I was into a cult, right? The Christian thing was shocking, but the non-Christian thing, the unregenerate thing was actually pleasing to my eyes at one point. But I am thankful to say the Lord has disconnected me. I'm unplugged. I'm no longer in the cult, no longer giving money, right, through PayPal and Cash App. And so I just want to let you guys know, if you're struggling with some of these things, ask questions to Mr. Woods. Because when you ask questions, that's when things start to unravel, right? When you ask questions to a cult leader, they get frustrated. They are unable to handle any amount of pushback, right? Any pushback they see as going against themselves. Saiko often boasts about how he's needed, right? And nobody wants to let him on, right? As if people owe him an explanation. You know, he kind of boasting, you know, Cory Minor was supposed to tell him about why he changed his views. See, even that's kind of problematic, as if Cory Minor is has some kind of obligation to Saiko Woods. But then Saiko Woods will come around and say, nobody can tell you what to do with this, with your, the exact quote is, no other man can tell you what to do with your YouTube channel. But that only applies to Saiko Woods. See, Saiko Woods will apply a lot of stuff to himself that he won't apply to others. And so, if you're like me, become disconnected, come unplugged. There's grace in Jesus Christ, but there's only confusion with men like Saiko Woods. Till the next time, we're unplugged. Grace and peace.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.